Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be back making videos again, and I am so happy that you all stuck around during my quite literally month-long hiatus. I'm sure you're all wondering where I've been, what's been going on, and I have some updates for you guys. I feel like if you've been following me on Instagram, you probably already know. My last video was titled Leaving Sweden After Just 1 Year, and that was because I was indeed leaving Sweden. And so I left Stockholm and now I live in London. So I am now a resident of the United Kingdom, and I have really just been taking the time to adjust, get used to the new surroundings, and so I haven't had as much time to really get into a groove and make videos as much as I did before. But rest assured, I am back and better than ever. Some of my content now is also incorporated into blog posts, and so those will be linked down below in the comments, so look out for that as well. So I wanted to come back and talk a little bit about the reasons I left Stockholm. I'm sure some of you remember from the last video, but I wanted to talk more about how I decided to move to London, what that decision has been like, and if I see this place here long term. So this video will be about my reasons of moving to London, and also what I'm going to be doing moving forward in terms of my channel. So yeah, stick around and I hope you can get something out of this video. So in my last video, you might remember that I talked about some of the things that I was going to miss about Stockholm, and those were absolutely valid and I do miss them. But despite missing some things, I ultimately knew that moving outside of Stockholm and to the UK was the right decision for me. So there were probably two main reasons why I decided to leave. And the first was, this might be controversial, but the answer is money. I know for myself I have some financial goals that I want to reach. I also have, being educated in the United States, quite a bit of student loan debt, and I'm not in the habit of kind of denouncing that and not paying it anymore, because if I don't, if I ever want to go back to the US, that would be a huge problem. So I do want to get rid of that debt as soon as possible. And for me, living in Stockholm on the salary that I was getting, while I knew that it was a great salary for someone in my role and someone in my position, it just wasn't enough to really make sure that I made those goals a reality for myself. And then also wanting to buy property at some point, and being an American in Sweden, not having access to first-hand apartment rentals, which meant that I was paying a lot more than the average Swede for an apartment. It just meant a lot of money was coming out and not as much was going into savings. And after I was paying off my student loans every month, I just didn't have as much as I would like to feel comfortable. So yeah, money was a big decision. I think if I didn't have that debt, I could have considered staying there for at least a little bit longer, but there was another main reason why I ultimately decided that Stockholm was just not the city for me long term. But I did enjoy it though. So yeah, that was my first big reason for deciding to leave. The second reason that I decided to leave Stockholm was the opportunities. I knew that as a woman who works in tech, there are just far more opportunities in the US and the UK than there are in Sweden. Important caveat is to say, I think that that's changing, and it obviously depends on what you value in a workspace and what you value in a culture. But I think ultimately for me, objectively speaking, there were just way more bigger companies that I could see myself working at in the US and in the UK. And ultimately I wasn't ready to come back to the US. So I decided to see what life could be like in the United Kingdom, in London. And so I know people who have left the company that I work at and go to a few other companies in Stockholm, but that's just it. There are only a few that will honestly be as big and provide as much opportunities for learning as I would like, and also who would pay a reasonable amount. And I know that Americans and other expats, we do unfortunately get paid a little bit more because we are coming from the States and we require just more support and a higher standard of living than maybe someone who is born and raised in Sweden. And so it would just be a lot to kind of have to, you know, negotiate salaries again and try to figure out how to make ends meet. Or I feel like that's not the word I'm looking for, because I know that that's a super privileged take, but as someone, again, who does have a lot of debt that I have to pay off, it was just a good decision for me career-wise and opportunity-wise to come to London. I could work remote at a lot of those places, but I think it was also important for me to have an office culture and work somewhere where I could come in and see my coworkers at least semi-regularly, maybe once or twice a week. So that was another reason why I decided to move to London. So yeah, those are the two main reasons. And then speaking of career, that actually translates into my next point as well. So speaking of career, over my break, I had a lot of time to really think about what I wanted this channel to look like. And I know that an American living in London is nowhere near as unique of an experience as an American living in Sweden. And so I really thought about what are the things that I could do to provide value to my viewers and my subscribers. And one of the things that I often get asked about is how I became a product designer and if I have any advice on product design career things. So I decided that I would be incorporating a lot more product design focused content into my channel. I will still talk about living in the UK. I'll probably make a video about immigrating here and what that process was like for me as someone who is on a skilled worker visa, why I decided to go with the skilled worker visa over the global talent visa. Am I regretting that choice? A little bit, honestly, because of the economy, but it's something maybe I'll go back again and try to get the global talent visa once again, or just what the different types of visas are. I could definitely make a video on that, but going forward, I will also be talking more about how a young person can break into their design career, or how a young person can strengthen their portfolios or strengthen their abilities in their product design careers, or the different kinds of designer you can be. So yeah, look forward to more varied content from me. I hope that you stick around. I hope that you continue to leave your wonderful comments and that I can produce content that is really valuable and answers some of your questions, because I just want people to be informed and learn together. And, you know, I want to let people know how to get my job, like how to get to where I'm at. So yeah, that's it for me. Not a super long video, but I just wanted to say hello and come back into the space of YouTube and content creation. So I hope to see you guys in my next video. If you found this video useful and enjoyable, please leave a comment, like, or subscribe if you want to as well. So I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.